everyone, this is Wendy Morales, lead independent Scentsy consultant with you today, and I wanted to talk about samples and sample making. I don't have my warmer out now to go through the steps of making a sample, but I just wanted to show you the two different kinds that I do and I give out to my customers. And the one I love the most and I use the most, and I'll explain why them. When I first started almost a year ago, I would do the wax mold I got out of the family store, and it's the one that has the shape of the bar and then it has the stars. And I started doing my samples with this because I was like, oh, that's so cool, let's do a mold. It'll be really neat to get a shape or whatever to my customers. And what I found was that my wax was getting really thick, and I was getting really thick samples that I was having a hard time mailing them through the mail. I was sending them through the mail, and it was costing me a lot of money. That was my dog. It was just costing me a lot of money because they were thick and it was more postage to send them. But I loved them because it was like a cute little shape that I could send to my customers. Plus, I could mix. This one I mixed. It's pink and purple. It's a little hard to tell on here. But when the scents were available, it was Lucky in Love and Strawberry Swirl. And it was a mix that I made up. There was another one I did, Rockin' Ruby Raz, Blue Raspberry Ice, and Pacific Daydream. And it was a really good, nice mix, and it smelled really good. So I did the molds for a while. And then I was noticing as my clientele was growing, I was spending more money sending out samples. So then I started going to felt samples. And at the time I didn't know of any cute place to get felt, and I just didn't want to spend hours cutting out shapes and stuff myself, and I didn't know how to really do shapes without them looking like really messy. So I would get white, hard, like a stiff felt, white felt, and I would just cut sloppy triangles or whatever, dip the felt into the wax, and label my bag whatever scent it was. Here's a couple older ones that I did before. I'll show you what they look like. So this was a country plum, and it was just like a simple triangle. I dipped it in the country plum, and it still smells. And then I would label my baggie, label on the other side what it is, and I could mail this in an envelope with a stamp, and it was so much easier and it was so much cheaper to do. And then about 6 months ago, I would say, I discovered this really cool company that makes shapes out of felt. So I started ordering from them, and I would get these cute little cutouts. This was one that I did for Halloween with casting spells, and it's felt. You dip it in the wax, and then as long as your customer, I've been told, been noticing, as long as your customer has a Scentsy warmer, they can warm this up to get a smell out of it. If they don't have a Scentsy warmer and it's an off-brand warmer, it tends to start smoking and burning because their off-brand warmer, I believe, is warming up too high of a temperature that it's gonna scorch the felt. So I always try, if I get a new customer, tell them, you know, it works best in a Scentsy warmer, since we warm at a very low temperature versus off-brands. They tend to warm at a higher temperature. So, but they can warm this up if they want to kind of get a scent out of it, what it smells like warmed up. But the Scentsy bars and wax are pretty good at smelling exactly how they do warmed up versus not warmed up. I think I've only had one or two that smelled a little bit different warmed up than they did as a bar, but not too off. So those are the two different options that I've done. I've stuck with the felt. Not only the felt is easier, it's quicker. You can, you know, warm up 2 or 3 cubes in your warmer to get it melted and do a bunch of them at a time. You don't have to, you know, wait for the water to boil for you to put in your measuring cup in the water with your wax, wait for it to melt, to pour it into the molds. Also, these are great. The felt is great for summertime because you put them in the baggie, and this one's a big baggie because at the time I ran out of small ones, but you put them in like the smaller baggies you can get at Staples, and what happens is in the summertime it's hotter. The wax, of course, probably is going to melt before it reaches your customer, especially if you're mailing to the hotter states like Texas, Arizona, California, and everything during the summertime. And if it melts, it's just going to reabsorb into your felt. So you're not going to get this big leaking mess either, which is nice. So it works very well to do the felt. I've stuck with the felt. Like I said, I found this great company. It's 418 Dreams. It's on Etsy. You guys should check them out if you need felt samples. They're really good at keeping up with what the Scentsy trend is. They try to find a felt cutout that's going to cater to the next warmer of the month or the scent of the month, so you can use it like that. I like the molds too, for like I would do the molds now, not to mail, but I would do molds like if you're doing a home party or a little basket party for your hostess to hand out to people, you know, and you can physically hand them to them. That way you're not paying so much for postage, because one of these with a flyer in, I had to put it in a manila envelope, a little one, would cost me almost $2 just to send, and it was crazy because it wasn't flat. The post office won't let you do this in a regular envelope if it's not completely flat. So that's why I like these guys. They're completely flat, one stamp. I can mail out all my samples. So as always, guys, if you have any questions or want to know more about my samples and what I do, just reach out to me on social media, comment. All of my social media is linked in the top and also in my profile. Okay, guys, have a great day. Boop, boop, boop.